for Laureano, and he overruns it, and the Mets win the ball game.
Episode 52 of The Burrows. I'm Kevin Bunk, joined by Michael Merlo every week for BTO Media, talking New York baseball. And Mike, you got to feel great after your Pride Month signature victory last night against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, I love a little late night West Coast baseball. I was texting you all day how excited I was to be able to stay up late, watch some Mets baseball. And, usually, Kevin, those games go a certain way, especially with the Mets. I feel like the same thing has happened with the Yankees, too, over the years, where you're playing out West and you're up late and you're watching these games. And you have a small lead, and then that lead disappears, and you say to yourself, why the hell did I stay up to watch this? That's happened before, and I thought it was going to happen again last night, but it did not. And the Mets held on. It was a great game.
I don't know how the Mets fare in extra innings, to be totally honest with you, normally. But I think we both know the Yankees are terrible in extra innings. Usually they struggle to get one run in. So I'm watching the condensed highlights this morning because I went to sleep after the 6th, and I'm saying there's just no way they score 2 runs in the 10th. That's impossible. Teams don't do that. They do it, and then the Dodgers come back, score only 1. Mets win it. Mets are here, possibly. Mets are here now. Feeling much better about them this week than we did this time last week. But now 38 and 22 or 39?
They're 38 and 22.
And they're living up to it right now. Big win against the Dodgers. Now they have to win this series, though.
You think? Now it's 3 out of 4 or bust?
Yep.
If
Absolutely.
they win, they get one more. They have the season series over them, 4-3.
Yes.
They win their 4th game. They've lost 1 to them. But yeah, it was great. I think when you go into this game with Blackburn starting, I think a lot of people kind of joked, like, "Oh, Blackburn's making his first start of the year against the Dodgers." For him to give you that performance, 5 scoreless innings, I mean, it's almost shocking. And then the bullpen did their job for the most part, besides for really Diaz, who this was his first blown save of the year. This was he didn't even pitch poorly, too. Like, it wasn't an awful outing. He didn't just completely implode, but he does blow the save.
Yeah. And we'll talk closers a little bit later, too, as Luke Weaver's out for the Yankees. But on the topic of Blackburn, this is one of your guys. You love him. You brought him up a week or 2 ago saying, like, we're getting Blackburn, because I just keep bringing up Minaya as the pitching help. I don't even think about Montas. And you were like, Blackie is coming back. And now he's back. I thought he was going to have one of those, probably give you 3 innings plus last night and maybe give up 3-4 runs, but a lot of walks, a lot of struggling through counts because you're in LA against the best lineup in baseball. Complete opposite, really efficient 5 innings in his first start back. You got to feel good about his addition to the team. Another pitching lab guy, possibly, but Mets pitching keeps him in it, manages that game against the Dodgers, and gets the win. Now they're 3-1 on the year against the Dodgers because they went
3-1.
1-3 in the first series. So 3-1. You're right. One more, you win that season series. You want to lock that up, but you're 2 games better in the standings than the Dodgers right now. This is why I think you got to win the series, because you can get to 4 games better in the standings than the Dodgers in June. Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, and you keep building a lead now over the Phillies. I mean, you talk about the soft spot in the schedule starting last week for the Mets, with this break in between with the Dodgers for 4 in LA. You're gonna go to Colorado after this for 3. You're gonna come home for the Rays and the Nationals. So it's certainly a softer spot here for the Mets, and you need to take advantage of this, like we saw the Phillies take advantage of their soft spot. So you got to start to build a lead, because the Phillies did build a little bit of a lead there. The Phillies were 4 games up on the Mets. They blew that. They started to play some better teams. It flipped for the Mets. Now the Mets have a 1.5 game lead. You got to build on this soft spot here heading into June.
Yeah, because what is it? Rockies, Nationals, Rays, Braves. Yeah, so if you could have, and even finish the month with the Pirates, you have 4 against the Braves again.
Yep.
If you could just get through this month, it's setting up to be another really fun Pride Month for the Mets. And if you can get through that.
I love Pride Month.
I think last year I was looking at it, I think they went 16-8 during Pride Month. It sparked their entire season, June 1st on.
Oh my God. That was the oh my God concert. against the Astros.
Yep.
It's legit.
Yeah.
Legit.
Let's go.
I'm pumped. I sort of feel right now, and maybe I'll feel this way tonight with a win. But the way you felt about the Yankees last week.
This is the time for the Mets. This is the first time I'm coming in here to this season feeling like the Mets are starting to feel as if they're legitimate contenders. I know we obviously knew they were. Like, I never thought they weren't. We both picked them to be in the championship series, but they are solidifying it now, even without that Soto production, that you just watch this team and say they're going to be really, really good every single night. Like, they're not one of those fringe wild card contenders like San Fran or San Diego. They are in this top group of the top 4 teams in the league. This is the first time I'm coming in really feeling strong about that.
And Lindor is he's unbelievable. He's the definition of a winning player. It's 27 straight games now that they have won with him hitting a home run. That's 2 games behind the record. I'm forgetting the guy's name, but it was from 1951 to 1953. He is just like last night, right? He hits the leadoff home run. Then in the 10th, he hits an RBI single to give them the 2-run lead. He steals second base. In the bottom of the 9th, he makes an unbelievable play to stop a ball from going to the outfield that would have tied the game in that spot. The Dodgers, yes, eventually tied the game. But if Lindor doesn't dive, leave his feet, and stop this ball from going to the outfield, the 9-hitter, why am I blanking on who the 9-hitter was? Doesn't matter. Kim. He hits an RBI single to score Edman to tie the game. And instead it keeps Edman at third. The guy is just the definition of a winning player.
Is it now? I hate to, once again, I'm going to say something that sounds like I'm degrading Soto and trying to kill the life of the party. But is it possible that a year ago, like even me as a Yankee fan, I'm almost thinking about just myself, we all thought Soto was going to the Mets to be the best player. Is it possible he wasn't even better than Lindor before this season? Like, Lindor is so underrated just as an overall complete player.
He is underrated. I think right now, I think it's Lindor, and maybe next season it's Lindor too, but I don't think it'll be, I don't think it's going to be a long time before Soto is, obviously the best player on the team.
Like, I know he had a better season last year.
Offensively.
But I almost think at the end of the year, if you surveyed 30 general managers and said you get either of these players for one season, I don't think it would have been 30 out of 30 Soto.
No.
Is what I'm saying. I think that there would have been a Lindor contingent, age aside, that say this is the guy I'd rather have on my team.
Well, especially after what he did last season. And after what he did last season, it's almost, it might be close to half. And then now you look at the start this year. I saw somebody on Twitter say yesterday, he's gone 30-30 the past couple of years. And they said with him starting out hot here, having a great start to the year, 40-30 isn't out of the question.
Who are the shortstops over the last 15 years, 20 years, our lifetime? Who are the shortstops that are legitimately better? He has the case for the
years?
top. Last 15, 20 years, I guess include like the Jeter era guys, Jeter era and on of shortstops. Can we definitively say that Jeter had a better peak than Lindor? I think he's a better player. I'm taking him. He's 6th all time in hits, but it's not just this definitive argument.
Right. Like, I think right now it's still Jeter, but I'm not going to be shocked one day where we sit here and we debate whether or not Lindor was the better player. I don't think that's going to be a shocking conversation for me in 5 to 10 years.
I'm trying to think of who are the guys that are definitely better since like 2008-ish, like when I started following baseball. And I don't know if I'm just missing somebody completely.
A-Rod in the comments here, but A-Rod moved over to third.
We're gonna call right after A-Rod's shortstop career ends. Around that time.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull up Fangraphs and see if I can get some better lists here. Let's see.
Because he is right there, though. He really is in the group of best shortstop of our life.
I mean, he's very close to like the top 5 of greatest shortstops of all time.
Because I feel like we've never until now sat here and actually given him the title of best shortstop in the league, but he's always been right there. It's just been in kind of a year-to-year position in baseball. You had the Tatis year. You've had, like Machado flashes, Seager flashes.
I mean, just think, he's already 19th. He's already 19th amongst WAR for shortstops of all time.
Yeah.
With 57. So, right, like Jimmy Rollins would be one of the guys that you could talk about, but
yeah,
I think Lindor's better.
Obviously, Rollins had a few years that peaked, but overall, we're taking Lindor.
I'm still taking Lindor, but Rollins would be one of the guys. Carlos Correa, no.
Bogarts, no.
Hanley Ramirez, no. Jose Reyes, absolutely not.
Definitely not.
Trey Turner, no. Miguel Tejada,
no.
Tulo, like the peaks. We're talking about peaks.
Yeah.
No. How about your guy Elvis Andrews? No.
No. IKF, no.
Come on, that's disrespectful. Right there, you passed.
Gleyber Torres, shortstop, no. Probably close, but no.
He's one of the best shortstops of our lifetime.
He is, if not the best.
And he's going to go down as a top 3 shortstop of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe the greatest ever. Who the hell knows?
I think if you're building a team from like a 2020s team, an all-decade team, or a team that does not include Derek Jeter, because he's going to get a lot of picks in the 2000s, I think Lindor would have to be your starting shortstop.
Yeah.
If you can't play guys out of position. He would be, unless Bobby Witt takes that over in the next few years.
But he's the only guy right now that I think has the chance to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Lindor goes into the Hall of Fame one day as a Met, right?
Obviously.
I was thinking that last night, just watching the game.
He's a Met. He's now a Met.
Who else was I just thinking about that for? I don't remember now. Who goes into the Hall of Fame with what jersey? No, Beltran's a Met.
Beltran's got to go in.
Beltran's a Yank, actually.
He's going to go in as a Met, though.
Beltran had a couple great years as a Yankee. Great exposure.
They ease the relationship over. He works for Stearns. He's in.
He's a Yankee. He's putting on that Yankee cap.
I can't wait for Lindor to be considered. See Lindor past Jeter. Mr. I run into the stands with no regard for my life and punch myself in the face with my nosebleeds.
And win
passed him on
every World Series ever.
Passed him on the home run list the other day.
Yeah, well, let me know when he passed him on the hit list.
Okay. Yeah, the meaningless singles that Jeter had.
Oh, yeah, none of them meant anything.
Down 6-0. Like what's his name? Judge. Huge home runs the other day, by the way. For Judge.
Best player in the league.
Those are big homers.
Best player in the world.
Your guy Cutter is King on Twitter tweeted out when they were down 10-0. He goes, "Here comes the most Aaron Judge home run of all time," and I saw it late. And then he had another one down 14. It was great.
He's trying to will the team back. It's a one-man squad.
Yeah, clearly.
All right, what else with your boy Mauricio back?
Mauricio's back.
Let's roll. Let's go. The kids. This is the kids' team.
It's shocking that Mauricio's back. They didn't want him back until after the All-Star break.
But
so it's kind of
Vientos goes down. He's up. This is it.
Yep. Maybe I don't know where they're going to put him. I guess they're going to use him at second a little bit. He looked good at third when he came up the first time, but that was a while ago. But Brett Beatty's got to hold down third base. That is his position, even though he's kind of struggled the past few days. But either way, he's the better defensive player at third base. And you don't really have anybody besides McNeil competing for you at that second base spot. So I think Brett Beatty's days are done at this point at second base until Vientos comes back. And you're going to have Mauricio and McNeil and a little bit of Acuna at second base right now. So it'll be fun. The bat is electric. We've seen that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it was upsetting when he got hurt. That was 2 off seasons ago now
Yeah.
that he got hurt. So it was upsetting when that happened. Thought it was a big loss. Thought he had a good thing going. Now we get a chance to see him. He kind of reminds me of Dominguez a little bit, where it was we saw that he could play in the bigs. Bad injury. Now we're going to have to learn if he can play in the bigs again.
The bat is real. I think the bat is real.
I think so too. But Beatty has to continue playing third every day.
For now. He needs a little bit of a run here. I was very interested with the way they were using Vientos. Like, very interested because, last night, you're facing Dustin May. You're facing an interesting righty. I wouldn't call him a tough righty, but an interesting righty. And he's been doing this a little bit. He's been giving Jared Young some run at DH. You're playing Beatty at third. Why not just DH Vientos like every night? Vientos has become a platoon player for the most part for the past couple of weeks now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I don't get it. I don't understand why not give him some run even if it's just at DH. Like, I don't want him to play third base either. But
I thought there was a way to get both of them in the lineup every night.
There is a way, but you get Jared Young in the lineup. You get Jared Young at bats, and I like Jared Young, but Vientos should be getting those opportunities.
But Jared Young also just has not been, like, he had a nice, first 2 games. He looked solid.
He had a nice
and
game.
Since then, it has not been anything. I think what is he, 26 years old? 29 years old. He's 29, so he's cooked, man. This guy's 29.
I'm just shocked.
29 in baseball is the new 45.
Is that true?
Yeah, Satchel Paige used to be the best pitcher in the league when he's 45, 46. Now, Jared Young sucks at 29, and he's old, and we're done with him. That's what it is. 2025.
Yankees could probably use Jared Young. But either way.
Dude, oh, come on. No way.
That's
just a ridiculous statement.
You
We've
got
8
DJ,
first basemen.
You got TJL. You got
yeah.
He's the man.
Young's a first baseman, right?
He hasn't played the field once.
Or he's an outfielder, maybe?
He hasn't played the field once for them.
He just DHs for them, yeah.
And he comes out in the 7th inning when they bring in a lefty, and then Vientos comes in and pinch hits for him.
Yeah, and honestly, lefty-righty, I'm going to guess, even with Vientos' up and down year, up and down career, I'm going to guess he's a better hitter than Young.
Yeah, even against the righty. Did you see the amount of balls that were hit last night that looked like they were homers and just did not get out of the ballpark?
I did notice that. And I also felt the same way at Dodger Stadium on Sunday night.
Okay.
At the Yankee game, because you know how ESPN does the loud bat and the loud crowd noise?
They got the mic.
Like, the amount of times that there's a ball that sounds and looks out off the bat on that, not only that broadcast, but just at Dodger Stadium, I guess, the last 2 nights was a handful, real handful.
Vientos hit one last night in the 8th inning, I want to say, and Gary went crazy. Gary thought it was a home run, and it didn't even make it to the warning track. Lindor hit one earlier in the game with 2 guys on, and it was a line drive. So, I thought it was getting out off the swing. It did not. And then Muncy hits one in the bottom of the 8th, the guy on base.
This is the one that I thought of when you just said that.
I was like, and it's happened before. Muncy's killed them late in games before. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I threw my hands on my head. I'm like, that's crushed.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary knew. And Soto, Soto didn't even have to move. He was right in the perfect position. They made the catch, but I thought that ball was gone. Deposited into the 8th row over there.
Soto in the perfect position. Won't see that too many times.
Yep, okay.
DH by the time he's 27, I heard.
Okay, that's fine.
Next year, you're going to be wondering, how do we get Vientos in? Because we can't get this guy out of DH.
Right.
And then imagine the convo after you trade for Devers.
We are not trading for Devers.
They're a mess, the Red Sox. They are such a mess. We'll talk about it later.
They stink.
It's time to have a conversation about Alex Cora today. We're going to.
Wow.
It's time to have a serious Alex Cora conversation.
Wow. I don't think disrespecting my guy there.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to. Your manager of the year pick, your AL champs pick. Come on, man.
Good. As if yours is any better.
Come on, Bochy's got a couple rings, dude. He's got 4 rings now. Respect him.
Cora has a ton of rings.
He's got 1. He's got those fake Houston rings.
Those are not fake rings.
Those don't count. Not when you're assistant bench coach.
But he was like the mastermind behind everything.
Yeah, him and Beltran. That's great, man. That's really good stuff.
Love it. Soto's back, by the way. Just done. Get ready, league.
What's the Rangers' record? Rangers are only 2 games under 500. All right, Sox are 4.
So
we might have a chance.
The Rangers
anything else?
Not have a chance.
Anything else Mets-wise here? They do. They have a chance. So do my D-backs.
Oh, you like that clip yesterday about the D-backs?
Yes.
It's dead. That team is dead. And if he's out for the year, oh my God.
Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin.
That is the nail in the freaking coffin.
With Mets?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm good with Mets here.
All right, well, if we have more Mets, just bring it up. If you have more Mets. Let's just start D-backs talk quick because I wanted to segue it into the Yankees. I was going to pair them together anyways. Yankees, I don't have much to talk about. Like, obviously, terrible series with LA, and we'll talk about a couple guys, but I'm almost in like a trade deadline headspace right now.
Okay.
And a lot of it has to do with seeing the D-backs start to really slide here, seeing Burns get hurt. If he's out for the season, how much of a seller do they become if they're 7 games under 500 at the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to. I think at that point you'd have to sell, and because
like big time commit,
and like I said this yesterday in that video, you've seen teams try and go for it when they shouldn't because they believe they have a chance because of the expanded playoffs. They would be a team, and so would the Rangers, and so would the Orioles, that will be the 3 main teams here with talent but selling. There's not going to be many of them, and they could sell high on some of these players on expiring contracts and this and that. They would get a ton. I mean, I know you want, Eugenio Suarez to come play third base for the Yanks. That would be great.
He's definitely emerging as the first guy that you probably didn't consider available. And now you're saying, we need a third baseman. Who's the guy on the 1-year deal that you can just rent out because they want Lombard to be their future third baseman? Who's the guy that you can find? And Suarez is the first real name that's popped up that intrigues me. And I'm also curious, could you make a trade for Suarez and with the Yankees pitching injuries, get Zach Gallen for the rest of the year? Gallen has not had a good season, but you still get a quality starter or just for innings at least.
I mean, is it worth it? I mean, he's a free agent.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
Yeah, the reason I'd say that is just because I don't think you have to give much up for a guy who probably has a little bit of upside for the second half of the season.
Okay.
You're thinking about, Heel is maybe going to come back, but you have Fried, Rodon, Heel in a perfect world in the postseason. Do you really love the 4th game being Warren, Schmidt, or Stroman?
Well, I think you do. I think I like that 4th game being a mixture of a few guys, adding Yarborough into that.
Yarb's a stud.
So, like that, I don't hate. I just don't see the need. I don't see the need of going out there and getting an extra starting pitcher that you say, oh, this guy's starting a postseason game for me. I don't think that's a massive need right now.
It's more of an insurance policy thought of Heel, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
I'm not sold on his health.
Right. If Heel is not there, then you got a problem. Can I ask you this question?
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to sound like a hater here. But 2 weekends ago, Yankees had the same exact situation on a Sunday night. They moved Fried up to pitch on regular rest.
Yeah.
Against the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball. And they had the same opportunity with Carlos Rodon here. And they chose not to do it.
Yeah, you want to
Sunday Night Baseball against the Dodgers.
You want to break down the obvious difference?
Yeah, go.
One of them, they got their ass handed to them the first 2 games of the series. The other one, they were going for a series win.
Yeah, but they did it before the series started. Yeah,
but
they did it before.
You can always bump them out.
They did it on Friday.
You can always bump them out because this is what Boone did against the Dodgers. He didn't announce until latest possible moment for game 3. He waited to see how those first 2 games went.
Okay, but with the Mets, they moved Fried up
because we know we're either going for a series win or a sweep in that series.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's a lock that we're going for.
Yeah,
that.
Okay. I think it's in the comments here. The Yankees are 2-7 against the Mets in their last 7 games. 2-5 against the Mets in the last 7 games.
That's big time. We're talking 2024 now. Mets 2025 is going so poorly. It's so disappointing that we're going back to the OMG 86.
I'm just saying, very interesting move. Rodon having a great, not a good year, a great year, and he doesn't move him up to face the Dodgers.
Maybe let's clap it up for Boone, who got the win with Yarborough, who's going to get the win today with Rodon against Cleveland.
I mean,
that's a big win from Boone. That's a huge win from Boone.
Hey, look, it looks like it's going to work out. It could work out.
Oh, it already did.
That's a risk. That's a risk.
It already worked out. Yarborough's a stud. Yarborough might start game 1 of the playoffs after what we saw from Fried this weekend.
I like Yarborough. Start him against Cleveland at home. Instead, you're putting him on Sunday Night Baseball against the Dodgers.
There's also a potential thought here. If Carlos Rodon gets shelled, it could derail his whole season because we know his mental capacity. We understand his mental capacity. So Boone could be saying,
that's why I wanted to bring this up.
Let's just let him go against Cleveland. His bad outing will still be solid against Cleveland, probably. And the Dodgers could really derail his entire year.
I trust Ryan Yarborough more in a big spot. That's it. It's great. I like that Boone is admitting it. That's all.
Yarborough's an absolute superstar.
He's great.
All-star.
Can I ask this question?
Of course.
Were you in the group of Yankee fans that I saw on social media and the radio this weekend that was very upset? Like, not just like upset, the Yankees lost, like pissed in the way they lost and how they lost to the Dodgers this weekend.
Well, I didn't watch much of the second game.
Okay, yeah.
So, because I was watching the Knicks season end.
Didn't need to watch that.
Yeah, and by the time I had the second game on right before the Knicks started, it was already 4-0. So I was like, this is a loss. And the game on Friday night, I understand they had the day of rest before. The bullpen was healthy. Fried did not have a good outing. I don't blame Boone for that loss because everybody loves to blame Boone for every single thing that happens in the entire world. And like Gaza gets the conflict happens in Gaza, Boone's fault. Ukraine war, Boone's fault. Like everything, Boone. That's all I see with all my Boone this, Boone did this, Boone did that. Like never, hey, good job tonight, Booney. Never that. So every single thing's his fault in the entire world, right? Friday night, he goes to De Los Santos. That's what pissed off every Yankees fan. De Los Santos ends up losing the game, but they never got another run after the third inning. They put up 5 in the first 3 innings, never scored again. So I don't really blame Boone because I think sometimes if a game is trending in a certain direction anyways, you go to a guy like De Los Santos and just hope that you get a clean inning from him. And you didn't. And sometimes you just got to hope with a reliever that he gives you a good outing. And I did not think that he really killed this series for them. Yankees got beat by a team that's obviously better than them.
Yeah, and again, I think with Boone in that De Los Santos spot, like I think I would have been pissed too, but at the same time, you're right, they didn't score another run, and also you wanna waste Williams or Weaver there in that spot, and now they're down for tomorrow. And you don't know if you're gonna have a chance to win the game late.
And now we're sitting here with an understanding that Weaver may not have been fully healthy coming into the weekend. He pitched once on Saturday and warmed up on Sunday, but we're sitting here with a comprehension that Luke Weaver may not have been at full comfort. So that changes the perspective of Friday's game as well.
Yes.
If Boone knows that he's dealing with something that's nagging him that got aggravated Sunday night, maybe that's what happened. We don't know for sure that that's what happened, but it's possible. Can't rule out stuff that we just don't know. Then I don't blame Boone at all for the way he managed Friday night.
When did he come into the game? The 6th or the 7th inning, De Los Santos?
7th, or maybe 6th, and then pitched into the 7th, but he lost it in the 7th.
Okay. Yeah.
No, 7th, because Loizaga was the 6th, I think.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's because if they would have come back and scored a couple there, then you could put it on Boone. But they didn't. They went down and died. That was it. They
rolled over and absolutely died.
And then they really got pummeled the next day.
But
don't worry, Big Brother's in town to take care of things.
No, they're not.
We don't allow our little brother to get beat up like that. We can't let it happen. So last night was a perfect example.
It's like us in the World Series last year.
Yeah.
Picking you guys up.
Yeah. Picked some real well.
Yeah. What else do I want to talk about? Yankees.
Weaver's tough though. Weaver's
tough. Brutal loss. That was what I was going to go to next. Weaver's. Yeah, I think they get Cruz back tonight.
That's big.
Cruz is back tonight. Chisholm's back tonight. So, some positives.
Big
Weaver,
AL matchup.
Yeah, two powerhouses. Probably your ALCS somehow it'll work out.
Once again.
Yep.
Of course. No, but seriously, let's just say this about the Weaver injury for a second. Because it sucks, and he's been arguably the best reliever in baseball. But it could work out. It could spin here. Yeah. If Williams figures it out in the closer role and is back to being Devin Williams, now you have the most electric 1-2 punch in baseball, and it could work out. I'm just saying.
I think this goes to either end of the extreme. I think either Williams becomes absolutely dominant again for the next month and a half. Weaver's probably not going to come back till after the All-Star break at this rate. They'll probably just shut him down until then. They said 4 to 6 weeks. But let's say, Williams maybe dominates this stretch, becomes great again. Or I think the only other outcome is gets to a point where it's obviously not suitable for him to ever be a closer for this team. And he's just really bad.
Good thing he's only here for the year. And Jazz is back. Jazz is back tonight. That's big.
Jazz is back. Massive.
And he's going to be playing third base, correct?
Yes.
So Jazz is back at third. Obviously,
DJ's going to play second. DJ, that great game on Sunday.
Obviously, DJ slotted in for basically the rest of his career at second base now.
Yep. Lifetime contract.
100%. Deserves it. That's my guy.
Definitely.
No, but that's nice. There we go.
And I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm tired of Austin Wells. Don't think he's good. I get it. He's a catcher.
Wow.
I understand the comparison to other catchers. I really root for him because I think he's a fun player when he's good. That stretch last year was electric. But, I mean, I can't keep tolerating the 280 on base percentage. Way too many bad at-bats. 726 OPS. He really makes up for it with when he does hit, he's productive. But he doesn't have a good arm. He's not good at throwing out base stealers. He's got the great frame rate. He's one of the best framers in all of baseball. But, I need more from the catcher position, and the Yankees are just not getting it.
I think he had the nice stretch last year to kind of raised expectations for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's not who he is. I mean, he wasn't this massive prospect coming up. I think there was a lot more hype. There was a lot more hype around him coming up from the fans that I think a lot of other people actually saw. I don't know. I think he's just, and the on base sucks, and that's got to be raised. But maybe this is just what he is. Maybe he's just not going to be that big time catcher that a lot of people thought.
He's starting to feel like a really good backup catcher.
No, he's more than a backup catcher.
No, but he feels like the most marquee backup catcher you can find, which is not towards the top of starters. Like, if this guy hit second on a team or played second out of two catchers on a team, think about it. Like, the first catcher is, I'm just trying to think of a guy, but no, not Terrence. The first catcher is just a guy, though, that gives you a little bit more at the plate, but it's probably a worse defender than Wells. So Wells plays a little more than every third day. You're saying this team has a really good pair of catchers here. But Wells is their starter. And that's where I have a problem, because he is not giving you the at-bats of a starting player. Most of his at-bats are bad and easy outs.
So you're done.
I'm not done. I'm cool with him being the catcher this year. But something in his approach has to change because offensively, it's way too easy to not only get him behind in the count, but to get him out. He feels like one of, during a lot of games, the most empty lineup spot they have.
Yeah, I mean, that at bat the other day wasn't good. Bases loaded in the first. That's not what you want. Trying to look at his numbers with runners in scoring position this year. I'm going to get there.
You're going to get there.
It's just going to take a minute.
But yeah, 212 average, 284 on base, 720.
224 with guys on base and runners in scoring position.
And then
his OPS is 716.
Check his lefty-righty splits again, if you could. Because those were in the Dominguez category early in the year.
Yeah, they've evened out a little bit. Against righties, he's got 6 homers, 19 ribbies. He's hitting 207 with a 712 OPS. And against lefties, he's up to 222 with a 758 OPS.
But then when you just look at the home run and RBI category, if he stays at this pace the rest of the year, you're satisfied with the season. That's why I'm not done with him. I'm not out on him because I'm satisfied with the RBI and home run production if he keeps it up. And even
so if he finished the year with 18, if he finished the year with 8, let's just say, what is? We're not halfway through.
Right now,
20 home runs.
20, yeah.
20 home runs and 73 RBIs, and he had a 727 OPS. You're happy with that?
Let me hold on. Look how many games. Check how many games the Yankees have played. I'm going to tell you exactly what he's pacing for.
He's played.
He's played 50, but yeah, how many games has the team played? Because
the Yankees have played 58 games.
Okay, he's got 9 home runs. 9 home runs, 32 RBI through 58 games. Okay. So he is pacing over 162 to have, give me one moment.
You're good.
25 home runs, 89 RBIs. That's that's a season I could really live with for Austin Wells.
Yeah.
But do I see him hitting those numbers? 1, no, I don't. And 2, I still need him to get on base a little bit more. Like, all I'm asking for is 300 on base. If you get to 300, we're having a totally different conversation.
The on base would piss me off. Yeah, because if you're at 740, 750 OPS there.
Yeah, so then we're feeling that's literally the difference is the on base between him being a player that you kind of don't love having in the lineup every day versus we can work with this and we definitely have one of the 10 best catchers in baseball.
So you're close.
Close, but not there.
He's 25. He's
like
young.
look at Volpe's season. Look at Volpe's season. The reason I'm able to be satisfied with Volpe right now is because the production numbers are pretty similar. 6 homers, 33 RBI. But he's got a 321 on base. So he's got a 747 OPS. That's kind of the difference with him and Wells at the plate right now. I know the average is 30 points different too.
Yeah.
But that also lends itself to getting on base.
They're going to be fine.
I think they're going to be fine.
You got Jazz coming back. I can't wait for Stanton to come back.
Wells is not going to be the reason I sit here at the end of October and say they did or didn't win the World Series.
No.
He's not going to be that much of a difference maker. Either way. In a good way or a bad way.
But your young guys are going to be. Your other young guys are going to be.
Yeah, Volpe's going to be.
Dominguez.
Rice might be.
Rice.
If a guy gets hurt, Dominguez will be. Dominguez definitely will be. Dominguez still having a nice season here too. I'm starting to really enjoy watching him now because he's giving you really good at-bats from the left side. Defensively, he's been fine. Couple hiccups. Nothing too out of this world.
Like in spring training.
Yeah. That was terrible. Or last season in the regular season.
Yeah,
last year in the regular season, he couldn't play left field. Literally, he could not play.
Your boy Trent really...
he's cooling off, but what's bothering me...
A nosedive.
Yeah. That was big. It's all sliced up, too. You see it?
Well, no, I meant just like the.
Oh,
I
on
didn't
his
see-
actual
I didn't
nose,
see he
too,
got
though.
hurt.
He's all
Oh, did
sliced
he?
up. Yeah, he's
Really?
good, though. He's good, though. He played.
Okay.
But he's all ripped up
Thank
on his
God.
nose. But yeah, that's the way I thought you were going at first. Anyways, he's still hitting second when he plays. He should not be hitting second anymore.
No.
That's the thing that bothered me with Boone this weekend is if you're going to hit Goldschmidt first, which I'm okay with. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it. If you're going to hit Goldschmidt first, I'd rather, and Boone has to do lefty-righty. He cannot do consecutive handedness in the order. You have to all be lefty-righty, 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 or righty-lefty, righty, lefty-righty, lefty. You cannot have two guys hit from the same side consecutively. I would put Bellinger second if I'm hitting Goldschmidt first and Judge third, if you're so set on it. But what we see is Goldschmidt, Grisham, Judge this weekend. I don't want that to be my top three.
Well, he's still giving Grisham a chance.
I'm fine with that. Just don't hit him in the top three. And if you are, he's got to hit third because Judge cannot be hitting third behind Grisham.
My mic unplugged. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Just sounds worse now.
Bad mic unplugged.
I'd like to see them experiment some other leadoff hitters too. I know they're getting good production from the leadoff spot, but Goldschmidt should not be hitting leadoff. Goldschmidt should be hitting behind Judge because that's where the RBI opportunities are going to be. So I want to see him hit behind Judge or two behind Judge if it's 2 and 4. Put Bellinger in the 3. Find your leadoff guy. Is it Dominguez? Is it going to be Volpe? Is it going to be Rice? Is it going to be Wells? I don't understand. Wells actually looked good in the leadoff spot this year, and they just went off of that so quick.
You know what I'm interested to see, and I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good.
Like, this Goldschmidt run is, like, incredible. Like, from an outsider's perspective, it's incredible. Like, does it end? Like, that's the question I'm trying to, like, figure out. Like,
I think it cools off a little bit, but I'd be surprised if he hits under 295 this year. That's the floor for me with his seasons, 295.
unbelievable.
Because he has changed his whole approach, and he changed in the
Right.
second half of last year, and he was really good in August and September last year.
It's incredible. I mean, the power's not there, but, like, who cares? And he's going to hit a few out anyway.
Yeah, but his numbers against lefties are like he's at the point where we saw Dave Roberts game planning around him over the weekend, where
Right.
he's changing pitchers to face Goldschmidt. He's pitching around Goldschmidt in 2-out situations with nobody on. We're getting that point with him where he is considered once again an elite hitter in the Yankees order, and everybody thought coming into this Bellinger had to be the second best guy to start replacing that Soto production. But if we're looking at replacing Soto's on base, it's been Goldschmidt.
Yeah, it's been Goldschmidt.
Replacing getting on base, actually, because he's right now got an on base of 388 and an OPS of 874. That shows you that the slug's not really there. Only 486 right now, but that's fine. I'll live with that. He's got that 2019 LeMahieu thing going right now.
1,700 OPS against left-handed relievers.
Ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's
700 against them.
And his lefty-righty splits are ridiculous, too, just overall. Because he hits good against right-handers. And he's just hitting a cover off the ball against lefties.
Let's see.
That's why, against a left-handed pitcher, I complained about this earlier in the year. Boone had Wells and Dominguez hitting back-to-back against left-handed pitching early in the year. Why are Judge and Goldschmidt not hitting back-to-back all the time against left-handed starters?
Dude, he's hitting 275 with a 666 OPS against righties and 531 with a 1,500 OPS against left-handed pitching. Are you serious?
Yeah, he's been their second best hitter by far. And he's been, along with Judge, the best right-handed hitter against lefties all year.
That's insane.
I love him. He's my favorite Yankee ever, I think.
You were high on him before the year, though, too. You liked him before the year.
And we can remember that in the episodes we did in the offseason, the Plan B stuff, whenever Christian Walker's name came up, I countered with Goldschmidt. I Still early to take a victory lap on June 3rd with him, but I was on this train the whole offseason that he was the guy for the Yankees. And I just have so much fun watching him play. He's such a professional player. You know when you get one of those veterans that are just such a pro in every aspect?
Just feels like a Yankee.
It's just, he's born to be a Yankee, this guy.
He was born to be a Yankee.
2 decades to get here.
This guy was born to be a Yankee. Feels like Judge loves him.
Got to get him that ring.
They were talking about that on the broadcast the other night, the worst broadcast in the history of baseball.
Which one?
Like the Sunday night game.
Yeah, Sunday was bad.
And they were talking about him and Freeman, Hall of Fame, this and that. Like, I think Goldschmidt's already a Hall of Famer. Like, I
do
this
too.
helps. This helps.
I think if Goldschmidt retired at the end of last year, he would have got in, not on the first ballot, but he would have got in after a few years.
Like, this certainly helps. And if he's able to win a World Series, then maybe he goes in and he's a big part of it. Then maybe he's easily a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I think either way, he should be.
He's kind of been the Lindor of first baseman the last 15, 16 years. Like, he's got a case of actually being the best one, but we've never put him there. I'm taking Freeman, obviously. Don't get that.
I don't think that's...
But he has a case, statistically, of a couple of years where he was actually the best first baseman. I know he has the MVP that Lindor doesn't, but Goldschmidt's been a very underrated player in his career at first base.
Did I ask you the question about Freeman, whether he'll go in as a Brave or a Dodger?
That's what I was thinking of earlier today, and I forgot it when I wanted to bring it up on the show. Brave or a Dodger? That's a great question.
Let's say he finishes out this contract, which I guess 2 more years left, and he's this level for the remainder of the contract. He's an elite player, and they get 1 more World Series. Is he a Brave or a Dodger in the Hall of Fame? I think he's going to be a Dodger.
Can't he do both?
I mean, he could, but I don't. That's
Lame.
boring.
Yeah,
Loser.
He played in Atlanta for 11 years, won an MVP and a World Series there.
He's going to win two World Series. Got a World Series MVP with the Dodgers.
He's got already 2 top 5 finishes MVP, 1 top 3 finish.
I don't know. Let's say he finishes out this contract, 1 year remaining, ends in 2027. And then he signs again for a few more years, and he's just a really good ball player. Let's say he's going to play 4 more years with the Dodgers. So he's going to have 8 years with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Or 7 years with the Dodgers. He's got 2 World Series, a few more top 5 MVP finishes, and he's got the World Series MVP. Brave or Dodger?
I'm going to ask a different question to both of us. Try to take ourselves out of the moment 30 years from now when your kid asks you about Freddie Freeman. Do you think of him as a Dodger or a Brave?
Well, I think of him as a Brave because he killed the Mets.
I will think of him as a Dodger, I think.
And it's more of a question for you. I mean, yeah, you have he beat you in the World Series and he was the MVP of that series, but like because I can't. Like, he tortured the Mets. So yeah. I can't take that out.
I think as an American League fan, I don't even think it's a Yankee thing. I'll think of him more as a Dodger because think about the first half of his career. What are the Yankees playing the Braves twice a year? Like they're not even really big interleague games the way that they are now, playing full series against NL teams, playing twice a year against NL teams. But I think of him as a Dodger.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna really start to think of him as a Dodger real soon. And it didn't end well there, and I'm sure he still is upset by that. I think he'll go in as a Dodger. I'll be honest.
And I think the guys that have been the popular guys casually with the media on this team have obviously been Ohtani and Betts. But when I look at the body of work that Betts will have versus I think the 2020 ring is so lame. The 2020 Dodgers World Series.
Okay.
But when I look at the body of work that Betts has versus Freeman as a Dodger, I think I'm going to say Freeman's a better Dodger all time.
Wow.
I think he's that great. I'm a Freddie Freeman homer, too. Like I have a bias towards Freeman. You know that about me. Because I've said for a few years now he's the best hitter in baseball. I still actually think he is, but it's not a straight up comment. It's more of a fundamentally, I think Freeman's the best hitter I've ever seen. He just doesn't have the raw power that Judge or Ohtani have. But I think he's a Dodger. It's a great question.
I don't know if I agree with the Betts thing because Betts is basically the same player he was with the Red Sox, which was an MVP.
Yeah, but all right. Hand up. I have a bias towards first baseman, and I have a bias toward Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
So that's probably why I'm saying it.
That's fine. I mean, Betts should have. I was arguing for Betts to win the MVP over the stupid 40-70. Remember those arguments we got into about the 40-70 on live radio?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
We got into
thing,
screaming matches over the 40-70 thing.
At this point, looking back at it,
was I right?
I was totally wrong on the 40.
Yeah, there we go.
I was totally wrong, and it honestly didn't take me too long to start to realize that.
We got right about screaming matches about that.
I mean, what do we have? A year later, 2 years later, we have a 50-50 from a player who's not even a notorious base stealer.
And I said, my argument was, I didn't think Acuna going 40-70 will look back on it and go, holy crap, this is an historic season like we were right after the rule change. And Kevin was no, it's great. I'd never seen this before. It's one of the greatest seasons of all time. And because I was trying to make an argument for Betts to win MVP that year. He had a higher WAR. I thought Betts should have gotten it. And yeah, that's crazy that you're admitting it now.
Yeah, no, I think that 40-70 is still impressive to me. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I had thought, based on the course of history, 40-70 was one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time. Now, with the base stealing we see, it just has a lot less value.
We had guys on that show comparing it to Bonds hitting 70 home runs, and I was laughing hysterically.
Yeah, I don't think I went to that point.
No, you did not. You did not. You just said it was an impressive.
Because at that point, I didn't even think it was better than the year Judge had before.
No, you had said that.
But I thought it was right below, in that tier below the big 60-plus home run seasons. I do think Acuna.
And I was no way. I did not think it was that impressive.
Because I do think Acuna deserved it, though, that year. You're just a Braves hater.
That's fine.
He was the best player.
I was trying to argue.
Ohtani won it in the AL, right, that year?
Yeah.
And that was the year that by mid-August, it was kind of over.
Well, Judge had
I think Freeman was third that year.
He was.
And it was Acuna, Betts, Freeman.
Judge had the injury, too.
Yep, and year. Judge would have... he should have get his fifth MVP this year because he should have gotten 2017. Should have got it that year. Got it 2 years. Should be getting another one this year. Five, right. Whatever. League screwed him. Concrete wall.
So now, we're giving him double the amount of MVPs he had. Okay, good.
Yep. Yeah, 3 more than he has right now.
And Ohtani got hurt that year too. By the way, he got hurt in September.
But he got. Remember that was weird. He got shut down for the rest of the season, the last month, because he hurt his elbow. He hasn't pitched since. And he cleaned out his locker and left in September.
Yeah, he also had 44 home runs in 135 games that year.
Yeah.
And he had 1,066 OPS.
In real time, I didn't realize that Ohtani probably had a way more historic season than Acuna.
Yeah, the guy had 10 WAR through 135 games. I mean, that's impressive. He also had a 3.14 ERA that year.
All right,
132 innings pitched, 167 strikeouts.
Yeah, I dropped the ball on that one.
But no, he steals bases, so we gotta throw a party and say, "Oh my God, we've never seen that." I'm sorry. I was that argument pissed me off. Oh, I loved it. It was great.
That was a good one. One of the good apps.
Yeah.
What else did I have for around the league stuff? Red Sox are a mess. The Rockies have won 10 games. Hang the banner.
I just got to say this.
Yeah.
Remarkable how bad they are. I mean, it is.
I really thought the White Sox of 2024 would at least have a long run as the worst team ever. Nope. It will not last 1 year.
It is just their pitching is some of the worst collection of like human beings I've ever seen in my life.
And what's crazy about the Rockies is they've never actually committed to a rebuild in our lifetime. It's just always been, and now they're forced to. They absolutely have to now. I look at the team, I'm like, who could you even trade?
Nobody.
There's nobody on that squad that a team would even call you for.
So I was listening to most of Saturday's game on the radio, and the way they were talking about Antonio Senzanella, I've never heard like a group of professional broadcasters speak about another player that way, because they were doing their absolute best to be like totally respectful, but they just couldn't. I mean, the guy has pitched 58 innings and he's given up 98 hits. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible.
You look at this roster right now, there's 3 guys that you might be able to get something for in a trade. All hitters. Hunter Goodman, you could probably get from a catcher needy playoff team. Yeah, 64. Team 64 WRC plus isn't even real. That's not even real, man. Oh my God. Because Hunter Goodman right now, he's got a 780 OPS.
Yeah.
Catcher.
Yeah.
You probably find a team that would be interested in him.
Right.
Other than that, like Jordan Beck has a 788 OPS, but
young player, you probably want to keep him.
yeah, you're probably not gonna trade him.
Ezekiel
McMahon is not
Tovar.
having a good year at all.
No.
Tovar's
You might
a great
still be able to
defender.
trade. You might still be able to trade McMahon though.
Tovar might be the best defensive shortstop in the league.
Yeah, but he's not hitting.
He's not hitting.
Home run off
So
the ghost fork the other day though.
And every team's gonna look at it and say, I'm probably getting a worse hitter when I bring them to my ballpark.
Tyro Estrada,
Bad.
your guy.
Yeah, Tyro. What a fall from grace.
I mean, look at the pitching. I mean, look at those guys. Look at the ERA. Kyle Freeland, 5.72 ERA. Antonio Senzanella.
He's also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Freeland's also like their only qualified starter in stats. I don't know how that really works because Marquez has pitched a lot, but they've started the same amount of games. But Freeland's like the only one that MLB wants to qualify for any stats.
I knew the math and I forgot the math, but I knew it. Like
maybe do you have to have
ago.
60 innings pitched as a starter to qualify?
No, it's a certain amount of innings based on how many games your team has played.
Either way, their pitching's a disaster. Yeah, Freeland's got the 5.7 ERA. Marquez has a 7 ERA. Senzatella has a 7 ERA.
Chase Dolander's their big prospect. He's got a 6.28 ERA.
I mean, what do you even do with this team? Because we have to be getting to a point also that the league is noticing, like, pitchers cannot play here. They're not going to want to come to play here. The owner is not going to pay a premium to get them here. And the fan base is too involved for us to move the team.
Right. It's a good fan base. They show up. It's a beautiful stadium. You know what's funny, Kevin? They are like 10 to 15 years behind in terms of analytics. From what I've read over the past few weeks now, they have basically no investment in technology or analytics whatsoever. So that right there, when you're not spending money and that's sort of your advantage, like, okay, well, we could do it this way. We could, find cheap talent and make our players better. In this way, they don't even do that. So they are just so far away. I don't know. There's no quick fix. There's no fix in 3 years. There's probably no fix in 5 years. You just got to hope that you're not the worst team in baseball for the next 3 seasons.
And you look at the Arenado trade, which at the time, people ripped. This was not some great haul. They basically did it for the cash, for that $50 million that the Cardinals gave him to basically buy out the rest of his contract, and the Rockies paid the last $51 million on the other side of it.
Right.
The trade basically just got him Austin Gomber, and then that cash.
Right.
Because they got 5 or 6 prospects and players for them.
But nobody ever turned out. Nobody
besides Gomber, though, at the time were even valuable
they got
pieces.
killed for that trade.
Yeah, they got killed for it. And to this day, it didn't work out. The only time they committed to selling players was Arenado, really. And it went terribly. They let Story walk in free agency. They didn't get anything for Tulowitzki. They have just never committed to rebuilding, but they're also not really committed to extending their players.
You know what the problem is, too? Like, when you have teams like this that don't want to spend money, but the owner finally says, you know what, I'm going to spend money, and it's bad money, like Chris Bryant, or, paying Centinella, whatever they did, because they did pay him, and it just doesn't work out. Like, that throws you off as an owner, because now you're like, well, I did spend money. It just didn't work out, and now you're in the hole even more.
What year was the offseason of Bryant? Was that 21?
That was 21 into 22.
That was the same year the Mets signed Scherzer, right?
Yeah.
It was the Scherzer, Baez offseason.
Yeah.
So let's just, I'm looking through this free agency class. It stinks anyways. But let's just say they use that money, like the best this class stunk. The best players were Stroman, Scherzer. Wow, brutal class. Seager. Let's say they used the money on Corey Seager.
Okay.
They gave him the contract Texas gave. And that's where ownership stepped up and said, we're going to give out a massive $300 million plus contract. And the guy actually steps in and say Seager obviously has not been healthy. He hasn't been very good after the World Series here. But let's say Seager was healthy the whole way and he has those great Seager years every year. What is this team? A 65-win team? A 70-win team?
They're not a 30-win team.
Like, if I totally agree with you that you spend the money on Bryant and ownership's probably like, oh, well, that didn't work out. That backfired, and it throws you off there. But if you're looking at that also and saying, this is the reason we're at 10 wins through 60-plus games.
No, I don't think that's the reason.
But
I think now it kind of pushes you off of
I know
of
you
wanting
don't
to
think
spend
that.
any big money.
I know you don't think that, but I think the owners might think that.
Well, I just think the owner is going to be – he's not going to be as willing to spend big money on players now.
And, I mean, this stuff's all true. They don't have an analytics department. They don't have a drive towards analytics or where the game is going. Or not even where the game is going. You hit it on the head. Where the game's been for a decade. This is where people have been complaining about analytics for 9-10 years now. So it's been a part of the game. It only continues to grow. And you see the teams that actually devote a lot of their overall budget on analytics. We sit here talking about the Mets pitching lab and what the Mets do and what David Stearns does. David Stearns is also doing that with a $300 million plus budget. So is Los Angeles with the Dodgers. They're doing the same stuff. The Yankees are doing the same stuff. Every team is using analytics. And then you have not only those teams, but you have Tampa Bay and Cleveland using it to their advantage every year. And Detroit, they don't spend a lot of money. They spend less money than Colorado some years.
That's your advantage. If you invest the money that you would invest on mid-level players just into that, then there you go. You're going to have some sort of competitive advantage over other teams, but they don't want to.
There has to be, because these analytics people, the nerds as we call them, are actually really smart and really understand baseball and how to improve players, teams, cultures. I have to imagine that there's a group of people that you could pay that are probably employed by another team right now, so you can't even get them. I'd have to imagine there's a group of people out there that if you paid half of Chris Bryant's salary to, instead of giving it to Chris Bryant or to a big free agent, that they could do something with the Rockies, with their pitching, try and make it so that they have a suitable method for lowering ERA at Coors Field. I bet you there's a group of people out there that could do that, and they're just completely ignorant to this reality.
It's awful. I feel awful for those fans because this is something that will not change for a very long time. It's just not.
Yeah, it's really bad. They have good fans. They have good fans in college. Giuseppe, dude.
Yeah, great
Great fans. And they
Great
all came out
fans.
for Hello Kitty night this weekend. They're pumped about baseball.
Yeah. By the way, yeah. Hello Kitty.
I'm not admitting I'm wrong on that.
You were so, they did 3 nights of it. 3 nights of Hello Kitty.
This was not me saying anything about the potential success of the event. This was me saying
because it was a
lame
full-blown success.
Lame that's what it takes to get people to Citi Field to watch a good baseball team.
Yeah, well, when it's the Rockies, yeah, you do need a little emphasis.
Because I even looked at those tickets, so I was like, what's the Mets Rockies tickets? Like $8 right now, day
Hello
of?
Kitty.
No, sold out. As if they're selling tickets for the World Series. Hotter ticket than MSG was last week.
Hello Kitty night. It's big. That's big. They did 3 freaking nights of it.
All right, last thing I want to do today.
I didn't go.
You didn't go. You didn't get a Hello Kitty bobblehead.
I didn't get one. No, I don't have one.
All right, big miss for you. Big miss for you. But, how many people there actually get that? The picture you sent me of the subway? Like, how many people actually got in there on time and got that?
First 25,000.
That's a lot, actually. That's a fair number.
Well, we have money to spend. I know you guys don't. We
don't spend any on pitching. You don't spend any on pitching. Get stomped in the championship series.
We can mass produce Hello Kitty. We can mass produce Hello Kitties.
We can mass produce Jazz Chisholm basketball jerseys. So
okay, great. I want one of those.
One night of the weekend, only for one night of the weekend, and for 10,000 fans.
Okay.
Alex Cora and the Boston Red Sox. Last thing I have to touch on today. I'm completely done with calling Alex Cora a game-changing manager, an elite manager, until further notice. He has no idea what's going on a daily basis with his team, and he's not even hiding it with the media anymore. He has no control of his best player and what he says to the media. He has a terrible relationship with him, evidently, and this is a guy who's always been a player's coach. That's been his calling card. His X's and O's have not elevated the Red Sox this year. In-game strategies have not elevated the team. The young players, Christian Campbell has been awful over the last 5 weeks after a good start to the season. Their player development over the last few years has been subpar. Granted, the prospects haven't been great until now, but still, Alex Cora has not elevated this Red Sox organization since they won the World Series.
Yeah, I'm a big Alex Cora guy. I've always been a big Alex Cora guy. But the issues that they have inside the locker room, especially with this Devers stuff, I mean, you got to sort of almost put that on him. It's because, those things should not be happening. Those things should not be coming out. But, granted, give Devers credit. He's had a fantastic year. But it's certainly concerning the way this team has played. I mean, again, I wouldn't have expected it. Offensively, they've been good. They've been good enough offensively. You lose Bregman, that's tough. But this pitching, man, to me, that's not on Cora. The pitching is not on Cora.
Well, time will tell if Alex Cora can elevate this Red Sox organization. High expectations for them this year have gone out the window. I'm good for the day. You are good as well?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks for watching episode 52 of the Burrows Pride Month Mets. Yankees back home tonight. We'll see you next week or later this week to talk more about it, recap what went on, continue talking about the future for both squads, potential trade deadline, so on and so forth. Make sure to check out the playbook on Instagram at @theplaybk. Check out the Hardline, greatest football talk show in the world, the Hardline Sports Talk, just bringing you such frequent content.
We might be back this week, actually. We might be back this week. We might be back this week.
Check out The Bunker. Check out No Good Takes. And we will see you this week or next week on The Burrows. Appreciate you watching episode 52.